Hello, my name is Geogen and welcome back to the channel and to Armored Warfare. So what you're seeing here is the Object 187, another Soviet premium MBT, sits at tier 7. I could show you the stats, well I will show you the stats, they'll be on screen, but I'm not going to go for a full breakdown, as basically I've summarized it in my own experience of the vehicle anyway, as a mix between a T90 and a T80. It's basically a slightly more mobile T90, it has a better gun than both the T80U and the T90, but it's very similar to all Soviet MBTs of this tier, and most tiers anyway. They have good frontal upper plate armor, they have good turrets, they have side armor which is really bad, and they have rear armor that's really bad. Their guns are very strong, their gun depression isn't. Their DPM is okay. This vehicle's DPM is worse than the previous two vehicles I mentioned, the T90 and T8U. Anyway, it's on sale at the moment for 5,500 gold, and I bought one because I got some gold reimbursed when they reset everything and changed everything in up 019. So, I have one, and basically, as I said, it's a more mobile T90. It plays quite nicely, it has good turret armor, it has a better upper plate than both the T90 and the T80U in terms of raw thickness. I think the previous two tanks have something like 280mm of frontal upper plate armor, whereas this tank has 305 or something. Bearing in mind, but all three tanks have composite armor, and you're rarely going to penetrate unless you're firing down from elevated position with a similar gun, around 610 or whatever with the AP. Also gets heat rounds and ATGMs. The ATGMs have better penetration than heat. Heat has better damage than AP, and against certain armor anyway, less than 100mm. Although they are apparently changing it in the next update. So yeah. You have seen though that the armor is not, insanely strong, because it will get, messed up, as you've seen. Gun depression also is not great either. I'm on half HP, say earlier. Accuracy of the tank is not brilliant, but it ain't bad either. Most of the shots I fired have hit the targets I fired at. And it's quite a simple tank to play. You're not completely invulnerable. But I think we're in a tier 8 game here. So you've got Ariettes and M8s and stuff, which, have better guns than you, perhaps more health, but you can do very well against any target really in this tank, especially those at lower tiers with worse armor. Less composite armor, etc. And we've only fired 3 penetrating shots so far, but we're up to 1600 damage. You can see the damage is anywhere between 490 roughly to about 650. All of these shells have been AP rounds. Swing fires seem to do quite a lot more damage now. I haven't actually played one of those vehicles recently, but they have good ATGMs. There's a tank in the open there, but we can't actually get the gun down far enough, and if we were to pull forward, our side armor would be exposed, and those 2 shots that ricocheted probably would have. And we would likely be on very low HP. Now, I've noticed that there is a M8 coming around the back, and it's just taken down our MMGS? No. I've forgotten what that thing's called. The Striker, anyway. Somehow manages to penetrate us on the move there. Probably hits us in the lower plate, or I don't know where, to be honest, because the bullet impacts in this game aren't shown. I can't actually show you. Anyway, we're being circled here in the M8, but we managed to have good enough track traverse. Worse than the T80U, mind, so the T80 would have done better there in terms of full circle strafing maneuvers where you're being attacked by light tanks or faster MBTs or whatever. We are on very low HP here. That guy could two-shot us now, so we've got to be a little bit careful, but we can sort of keep up with him. He's fired his smoke, which means he's probably headed in that direction as the smoke is deployed where the turret is facing. And it's likely his turret was facing forward there, and so was the rest of his tank. So my recommendation for this tank is, if you already own a T80U premium version, Shark version or whatever the fuck it is, you don't really need this tank. And if you don't have that one, but you want a tier 7 premium tank, this one's pretty nice. I think they all cost around the same, 5,500 gold, whatever that is in your regional currency. Or if you, like me, had some spare left over from the reset, then feel free to use that, as I have. Another thing I noticed is this tank doesn't really get slowed down too much by the water in this game. I mean, it does obviously get slowed down, but other tanks like Chieftains and Challengers and stuff would struggle to get through that water as quickly as we did just there in this object. It just tends to glide along really nicely. I had a round on the chemical plant map, which I didn't record, and I do have a replay file of it, but I thought I'd use this actual recording I did instead, just to show you rather what the tank's capable of. I mean, it's fast enough, has a good gun, everything I've said previously really. That's an M8. We could be firing some heat rounds here into the back of him, but there's no point as we put one in the back and ram him to death. Up to 3,600 damage. 4 targets remain, including this T90 that we saw earlier, or Type 90 that we saw earlier. Chinese tanks are still bad as hell in terms of their armor. Their guns are okay, I think, but meh. You wouldn't really want to play that over a Leopard or a... well, yeah, like this Leopard 2A4 or whatever it's called. Evo version. So, the game's pretty much done now. There's a Ariete left, whatever. Put one in the back of him, his engine's knocked out. I actually block a shot from the guy behind me by mistake. Or rather, I go in front of him as he hits me, hit the guy in the engine again, he's pretty much screwed, and the game ends. A decent amount of damage there for this object. 187. Probably was a development of the T90, you know, like a test bed for it. So we did 6,000 damage that game in a tier 8 maximum game. Not bad at all. So in terms of content dedicated to Armed Warfare on the channel, I am thinking I will be stopping it, at least for the moment. I have been on and off about this in my previous videos. I've been saying like, oh well, I might look at this, give me some advice, what do you want to see, etc, etc. And, you know, a few of you have said comments, I've looked at a few things, and I've not looked at other things people have said, and I've realised that, you know, that will be letting some people down, but at the same time, it is about fun. This channel, for me, I have a lot of fun making my videos, but I obviously don't make any money from them. Clearly, it's not a job. You know, I don't have thousands and thousands of subscribers. Anyway, Armored Warfare, I had a lot of fun in it. Currently, I'm not having a huge amount of fun. It's very samey for me. I have all the vehicles unlocked, so I guess that's a problem as well. I don't have any incentive to play currently. When there's new content, I may well look at it, depending on how much new content, like map and vehicles and game modes, whatever. Problem is, I found the way they deploy certain things in the game to not really be that great and useful. It's not a problem of the game uniquely anyway. But for instance, they released a couple of maps, I believe now. They've released a map called Chemical Plant, and I think there's one that's set on like a tropical island or Jamaica or something like that. And, or in the Barbados maybe. And I've played that map once. I've not played the tropical map. I'm not sure if that is just on the Russian server now I say that, but anyway, going with the Chemical Plant map, it's been in the game, but I just keep playing the same damn maps constantly, like, what is it? Cold Strike, Desert Crossing, not Crossing, Pipelines, etc. It's getting a bit tedious, is all I can say. So, a lot of you watch the videos, or watch my videos anyway, because I make Armored Warfare stuff, and you're interested in it, and, you know, that's great. Problem is, if I'm not interested in it, then I'm not going to make it. So, some of you may not like that, and that's unfortunate, but hopefully you'll understand why I am saying this. So, the thing to take away from this video is, well, firstly, the object, see if you're interested in that, and more importantly, I will be taking a hiatus or a break, extended break probably, from this game, unless there is something very interesting for me, or new, or content, as I said, in the future. Just thought I'd be honest, and hopefully that doesn't upset too many of you, or, you know, feel free to stay with the channel or go, depending on what you want to do. As I said, the game may return to my channel, but as I said, this is also just fun thing I'm doing. You know, making videos and stuff, it's not a job, money, so maintaining that level of enjoyment is important for me. Anyway, I feel like I'm going around a bit of a circle now, so I'm going to wrap this up, and I will be seeing the rest of you in the coming videos. Thank you for watching, and as always, I've been Geogen, and I'll see you chaps and chapettes in the next one.